Do you remember Croc Legend of the Gobbos, the cult platformer that released in 1997? The game that only got one numbered sequel? What happened? People liked Croc, right? Was Croc not edgy enough for the 90s? Well, what if I told you that Croc here was a lot more edgy than you realised? What if I told you that Croc was no hero at all? That's right, Croc's been out for number 1 the whole time. Even though Baron Dante kidnapped all the Gobbos and took over their land, Croc is going to rid himself of the Baron without saving a single Gobbo. And he'll even do it without collecting a single crystal. Edgy enough for you? So there's the title of the video. Can we beat Croc Legend of the Gobbos without collecting any crystals or saving any Gobbos? Let's find out. But first things first, let's lay down some rules. Firstly, we must not touch a single Gobbo. We are to leave them to their fate. Secondly, we cannot collect a single crystal in the entire run. Since crystals act like health, that also means any damage is a one-hit kill. Thirdly, we cannot skip past any level in the game with a password. We can only progress by hitting the gong at the end of each level. And lastly, as soon as we beat the final boss, Baron Dante, we win! The game is split up into islands with several levels each and a boss level at the end of each island. Every normal level has a gong at the end that you have to hit in order to finish the level. Our goal is to get to the end of every level and hit that gong whilst avoiding every Gobbo and every crystal. In the early levels, this is very simple as the levels are open enough to avoid the collectibles. However, there is a trick that we need to learn for this run, the hover jump. If you have ever watched a Croc speedrun, then you'll have seen this trick before. Basically with this trick, Croc can hover in midair for a few seconds. I made a video for a different channel a while back explaining how to perform this trick, and I'll link it in the top right corner for you here to check out. It might not always be completely necessary, but we can use this trick to avoid some crystals in a few levels. Often you will see floating platforms with crystals on them. These can be just avoided by landing on the very edge of these platforms. It took a bit of practice. Sometimes I accidentally collected a crystal or fell in the lava, but eventually I was able to get the position just right. The next real obstacle is to maneuver this platform through these crystals. It's not easy, but with a hover jump we can get past this section. A little later we see a balloon that would carry us on a set path if we grabbed it. However, this balloon will carry us through a bunch of crystals and even drop us on a Gobbo. Of course we can't have that. That Gobbo's going to have to get used to being there because we're going to skip this area by just dropping down to the ledge below. The next island ramps up the platforming a little with some ice physics, which can lead to some very tight jumps, with sometimes odd results. If we ever see any monkey bars with crystals floating below, it's best to avoid them. Going over the top is far safer. This section was a little tricky, but some hover jumps saw us through it. We then had to be careful to avoid these 3 crystals in front of this door. And then there was this disobedient Gobbo standing right in my way on this tiny platform. His jaw must have hit the floor when he saw Croc nope right over his head. A few more precise jumps later to avoid some crystals, and we enter this door. And we collected a crystal. I didn't do that. Whenever Croc walks through a door and emerges from the other side, he automatically takes about 3 steps forward, and in this instance there just happens to be a crystal right in front of us. At this moment my heart sank. I tried all I could to somehow interrupt this walking animation, but I just couldn't pull it off. Some very helpful people over on the Croc speedrunning Discord server gave me some useful information that basically let me know that this walking animation is completely scripted and there's no way around it. So, we have been forced to collect 1 crystal so far. I debated whether or not I should carry on, but curiosity got the better of me, so we take damage immediately, get rid of the crystal and press on. The third island has these sections where you need to collect fireflies to illuminate the area. Otherwise you'll be platforming in darkness. But so far, I haven't collected any optional collectibles in the game. Not only does this mean I've avoided all the hearts, I've also avoided breaking open any of the question mark boxes. So if I can avoid collecting anything I don't need to actually progress, I will. This means several lengthy sections where I had to carefully jump from platform to moving platform in the dark, over instant death pits, all whilst trying to avoid this very annoyingly placed heart. Even if you hang on the edge of the platform, pulling yourself up still collects the heart. This part nearly broke me. Eventually, I was able to make a leap of faith and just avoid slipping down to my death. A couple of hover jumps later to avoid some crystals, and then it happened again. The game made me collect another crystal. When you enter a well, Croc will automatically jump out the other end, and this time he lands right on a crystal. This time I decided to just mash random buttons while Croc jumped out of the well, and for some reason this actually worked. Croc just avoided the crystal this time somehow. I wasn't going to question it. Soon after, this game introduces these very small square-shaped platforms. We had to get across this one without touching that crystal, but I wanted to find out if we could do it without the hover jump. Landing next to the crystal without touching it was hard enough, but jumping to the next platform was even harder. But I'm happy to say, after many failed attempts, I did pull it off without the need of the hover jump. And now the game wants me to do that again 3 times in a row. No thanks, I'll have my hover jump back please. Although even the hover jump wasn't an easy solution here. The problem is, these platforms get taller, and it's too far to skip over with one hover jump. My plan to get across here was to hover jump to the 3rd pillar, land on the very edge to avoid the crystal, and then quickly jump off to the next platform. This part took the most tries out of any part of the game so far. There was a time I thought I'd nailed the landing, only for Croc to collect the crystal after a delayed reaction. Many more failed attempts later. Oh my god! Oh my god, so close! Oh! Oh, come on! What was that? Oh, come on. This has to be possible. Oh! 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 Oh, yeah! Oh, it continues. And I finally nailed it. And then I put this guy out of his fiery misery. We're on the last island now, and straight away there was a lot of this. But I had practiced landing on the very edge of platforms so much at this point that it ended up being quite easy. There was this section where you're supposed to break open some floating question mark boxes to make some giant cogs appear. Also that you can complete this mechanism and make a platform move, but I haven't broken a box yet and I wasn't about to start now, so hover jump it is. Next, we had these thin bridges with several crystals on. There were also enemies shooting fireballs at you this whole while. I tried to skip this whole section with a hover jump straight to the end, but it was just too far away. Ooh, that's good, that's good, that's good! Oh, it's not good enough! And then I discovered you can just stand on the bridge's rails and miss every crystal that way. Or you can. How dirty is this? Soon after, we're forced into a minigame. You're supposed to remember which box has the gobbo inside, and then keep your eye on it as it shuffles around to make sure you break open the correct box at the end and save the gobbo. Oh, okay. It's the one in the middle. Keep your eye on it. Right, middle, right. In the middle. Oh, it's on the left. Middle, right. It's on the far left. It's definitely the far left. Yep. 100% the one on the far left there. Cool. I've gotten fairly good at these thanks to Mario Party. But then, out of nowhere, the game figures out what we've been doing, and it goes into business for itself and murders Croc right before my eyes. I know how to beat the game's trickery though. I found myself needing to pull off a tough-looking hover jump onto a moving platform in order to avoid some monkey bars, but the next part was a weird one. There are these large square platforms that drop down as soon as you land on them, which then forces you to fight off a bunch of pirate-looking fools, but as I landed on the platform you'll notice there was a crystal in the centre that I avoided. But after I finished fighting the pirates and the platform lands, it just seemed to place the crystal in my inventory. I soon worked out that the crystal seems to position itself back in the centre of the platform, and because I was standing in the centre of the platform when it landed, I was dropped straight onto the crystal, so I simply had to make sure I was standing near the edge as it landed. Oh, but don't you worry, the game saved the most frustrating part until the very end. The final boss level, in fact. As soon as the level loaded, I saw it. Stairs. With a load of crystals on them. Fun fact, you can't stand on these railings. That would be too easy. My only option was to meticulously and precisely jump in the spaces between the crystals and just hope there was enough room to land without collecting any of them. This right here is where most of my failures came from. But eventually, I did it. I wasn't going to let the game beat me this close to the end. The room was cleared with every crystal still remaining right where it started. One defeated Baron Dante later, and the run is over. Croc has rid the land of the Dratini, and the Gobbos erect a statue to their new overlord. So, can you beat Croc Legend of the Gobbos without saving any Gobbos? Yes, but can you beat it without collecting any crystals? No, you can't. And all because of one crystal being slightly too close to a door. We did everything within our power, but we can't beat Croc's scripted walk animation. The fact that this is the only one time where we're forced to collect an optional collectible is such a shame. If anyone has any idea how we can somehow interrupt this walk animation, then please let me know, either in a comment below, or you can find me on Discord, the link will be in the description. And if you enjoyed the video, then you know how it works. Stomp the like button and tail whip the subscribe button for more videos just like this one. And if you want to be extra awesome, all you have to do is share this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. So this is the end card. I only get 20 seconds on these because that's how long links are staying on the screen for at the end of the videos. But there might not be any links right now if you're watching this when this video is brand new, because this is the first video on the channel. But rest assured, when we get more videos, I'll link one here for those who watch later on, and then you'll be able to click on it. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll love you and leave you. Bye!